Yo guys, what is up? Welcome back to the new video. I'm the Casual Racing Gamer, and today we are talking about the new Thrustmaster T598. This is the Direct Axial Drive wheel that just released, available for PlayStation. Yes, we have Direct Drive from Thrustmaster on PlayStation and PC, and that's what makes this a very big deal because of the lack of wheels in Direct Drive that we have for PlayStation, and this is coming in at a very competitive, most inexpensive direct drive option. Thrustmaster is actually calling it Direct Axial Drive. They're saying this is the newest technology in the direct drive genre, and I'll go over what that actually means, although I'm not the technical guy on this. But first, big huge thank you to Thrustmaster, who sent me this set for review for you guys. So I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm not getting paid for this video. Thrustmaster will not watch this video. They are not telling me what to say to you. They have given me information of what their technology consists of. I'll share some of that with you, but my thing is, how does it feel in my hand? I'm also going to tell you if I think it's worth it compared to the T-GT II, which I've been using for a year and a half, and I think it is one of the greatest feeling wheels, even though it's considered old technology, belt driven. It's such an awesome wheel. So I'm going to tell you what I think about this versus that. This is obviously coming in a couple $100 cheaper than the belt-driven T-GT II. I'll go over the parts here for you. And just so I'm clear with you guys, I did actually pre-order this when I saw it was releasing. I pre-ordered it about a week ago, and then Thrustmaster reached out like 2 days after I pre-ordered it, letting me know that it was on its way. It's going to be here any day. So I was willing to put my own money down on this. For $500, I was willing to buy it. If this was $1,500, I would not have pre-ordered it, to be quite honest with you. I'm being straight up with you. If this was $1,500, that would have been out of my price range to replace my T-GT II if I was looking to replace it or just get something just to compare it to. At $500, for me, it was a no-brainer. That hit a price point where it's like, it's not going to break the bank. Of course, everyone's funds are going to be different, but for me, $500 was a sweet spot to say, yes, I'm going to pre-order it and I'm willing to spend my own money on this. So just so you know, yes, I was willing to purchase this on my own. So this isn't just something that Thrustmaster sent me that I wasn't willing to buy. So let me first talk about what is Direct Axial Drive. And I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I am not the technical guy. What matters to me is how the wheel performs. That's my biggest thing. But what they're saying is 100% of the first generation direct drive wheelbases use radial flux motors. Now, radial flux is built with a stator tube with copper coils surrounding a shaft, the rotor, covered in magnets. Radial flux motors are so named because magnetism radiates perpendicularly to the shaft. Now, aerial flux motors are built differently. They allow magnetic flux to operate parallel to the shaft in axial designs. The stator tube does not surround the rotor. Instead, it consists of many parallel layers along the shaft, rotor, magnets, printed circuit board. So supposedly what this does is it gets rid of cogging and basically like when you turn the wheel when there's nothing in it, you basically, I guess with regular direct drive wheels before this technology, you actually feel like a little cogging. I guess you can feel the magnets. And then when you turn it on, they kind of negate that through software to remove that feeling. This wheel spins freely all around. You feel absolutely nothing when you spin that. So also, I think they're saying the reason why they can keep the price down is because it doesn't use so much copper, which helps with that. Now, looking at this wheelbase, you can obviously see the design is thin, it's tall, and obviously not everyone might like the look of that. And I get it. I understand that because of the shape. But I think that's because of the technology that they use, that I guess it's taller, where a lot of the older direct drive wheels are much more lower and longer. This is more shorter and taller. Now, if you're using it with a monitor, that might affect you. I'm using it in VR. I couldn't care if this thing was 12 feet tall. It doesn't affect VR users, but I totally see the point of someone on a monitor that might think it's a little too tall for them. Now, the base itself, it's very heavy. When I hit this, it kind of feels like metal, but I don't think it's metal. I did try to put a magnet on it. It didn't stick, but it feels solid. Whether it's metal or plastic, the thing is very heavy. It's very solid. What it's made out of does not affect me. Again, as long as the thing works, as long as this thing lasts, I'm good with it. wherever they want to cut corners to keep prices affordable for people, I'm happy with it. Now, the wheel that it comes with, oh, let's first say there is an awesome screen on this. I do appreciate the screen. Again, while you're in VR, not going to be helpful. For non-VR users, the screen is very helpful. You can get information from the game itself, like your RPMs, when to shift, your gears, your place, and all that stuff, depending on the game that it is compatible with. But you can also change a lot of your settings in the base itself. This is 5 Newton meters, by the way, at a full constant 5 Newton meters, and it actually can overshoot 100%, which will give you a boost to about 10 Newton meters, they say. So it's a 100% boost of 5 Newton meters, but it's short burst, not long. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. All the information can be changed within your wheelbase itself. You know, the force feedback settings, the wheel rotation, there's something called harmony, which I'll also get into as well. But let me just show you the other parts that come with this. This is the actual wheel. Now, straight up, this wheel is not the best quality, guys. When I pulled the wheel out of the packaging, when I first pulled it out, the feeling of it is it feels cheap, guys. It definitely doesn't feel like a quality wheel. I wasn't expecting to feel like a quality wheel, paying $500 for this whole set. A quality wheel in itself can cost $300. So they're obviously not going to give you a good wheel. This is not a good wheel. It feels like plasticky. It feels like a toy. It feels inexpensive. The buttons themselves feel very cheap. When I put it on and used it, if I was able to use it, like holding it, it feels cheap. But once you're racing, you put your hands on there, especially again, when you're in VR, you don't see what you're using. And it felt fine to my hands, but it's not the best. It's obviously not the best wheel. I was surprised to see magnetic paddle shifters on here. That's probably the best part of this wheel is the actual shifters. The shifters felt good. Everything else, you know, take it or leave it. It is what it is. But that's the wheel. It does come with pedals. Now, the pedal set does not come with load cell pedals. And I was not able to test the pedals because this is not wide enough to fit my racing stand. So these holes down here do not line up. My racing stand has vertical columns to put these into, and the columns were too wide. This did not reach it. So I guess I have to get some kind of an adapter. You know, maybe I'll try them out somehow, some way, but I don't think anyone is buying this set for the pedals. The pedals did feel good. I did put them like on my floor, on my carpet. They do have nice resistance to it. They felt, you know, they felt fine. You can't get load cell pedals yet. There will be a load cell option to add to this, and then you can use your other pedal for a clutch if you want. So one thing to think about is, you know, how you're going to mount it to your rig. The actual base itself, I did need to use the connector here to mount it, and then 2 screws go through, so that fit. It did not fit without the mounting, so that will also make it taller. Something to know. I do appreciate now we finally do have a quick release. It is so simple. You just take it, you just put it in there, so simple, and just tighten it up. Now, if you have wheels that do not support this quick release, they did release a little add-on piece that you can actually swap onto your previous wheels. Not all of them work. You have to look on their site to see what's compatible. So some of your older wheels you can actually use on this base, like the open Thrustmaster wheel that you can see back there that I use. You can add it to that. Also, the Evo wheel that I use, that actually comes with the release for this base, the quicker release, and the T-GT II release. So that actually comes with both. So if you buy that wheel, it actually comes with the option to use both. Now, as you can see, the wheel spins freely. Like, there is no feeling in here. It is a smooth turn, and there's no stopping it. You can obviously just see it'll just spin forever. There's no end to it, and it just feels, when you just spin it, there's nothing. Like, you don't feel any kind of cogging. You don't feel any kind of steps or anything like that. It just feels great when it's that. Obviously, it tightens up once you put the motor on. It'll tighten that up. This is $500 for this setup. You're getting a wheel, you're getting pedals that are going to be upgradable, and you're getting a direct axial drive base. Now, the most important thing is it's $500, but how good is this? So first, let's go with what I've used and where I'm coming from. So I started with a T150, a Thrustmaster T150. It's a gear-driven, it's supposed to be gear-driven belt combination type of wheel, but it's gear-driven. You definitely feel the gears in that, not strong at all. And from there, I went to a T300, had a little stint with the T300, lasted about a week before I jumped to a Thurstmaster T-GT II that I'm currently using for the past year and a half. And I want to say first that I do love the wheel, and I wasn't looking to get something else because I wasn't happy with it. I actually recorded this already, and then I came back and I wanted to re-record it because I was able to spend more time with the T598. I felt like originally I probably didn't give it enough time to get used to, and it was just that kind of initial, I was kind of expecting something else. It gave me something else than I was expecting, and I think I just felt like I needed to get a little more used to it. Being a direct drive wheel, it is very smooth. It's a much smoother experience, and I felt like it was a little lighter than, like a lighter feeling than my T-GT II. The T-GT II, it makes me feel like my car has a little more weight to it, and there's just a little more resistance in the wheel. But like the T598 is a really strong wheel. It definitely has very quick response time. It felt good. Sometimes in like lighter turns when you're not coming in hard, I felt like I would have liked a little more resistance on the wheel. I feel sometimes it feels a little too light for me, that I don't feel my car, and sometimes I didn't feel my car slipping. I do know that the wheel has the power there because in other instances, I was able to really feel how strong this wheel is, and it can really shake your hands. It can really rock you. So the power is definitely there. It feels good, and it's just really smooth. So it's kind of a different feeling than the T-GT II. Of course, we're comparing 5 Newton meters compared to the T-GT II, which is about 6.2 or something around there. But obviously, the T598 gives us a nice boost. It gives us a nice boost that you can get up to 10 Newton meters. So now let's talk about harmony that the T598 offers. This is something similar to the transducer in GT7, but it only works when you're shifting up or shifting down. It's not a constant vibration like you get in the T-GT II, but what it does give you, it gives you a so much more powerful jolt than the T-GT II. And when I mean powerful, I mean like this thing really shakes your rig about, I would say at least 5 to 10 times harder than what you feel in the T-GT II. It definitely adds immersion. It definitely feels good, and it just makes everything feel better and come alive. Of course, you're not getting that full vibration, that constant vibration like the transducer gives you in the T-GT II. But like this definitely adds immersion, and I think it's a great thing that the wheel actually has in the T598. So now let's talk about the overshoot in the T598, and it's definitely noticeable. I know when I hit a car, it really rocked my wheel. So it's definitely there. It's definitely a good feature that it can shoot up high. And again, it's just for small bursts and small moments, but it just, it adds more to the immersion. It makes the wheel feel like, it's obviously stronger than what it is because it's boosting you up to a higher Newton meter when it's needed. I would like to feel a little more resistance and a little more sensation sometime in the lower end where it's slowing down and you're going through turns. I feel like the resistance in the wheel, sometimes that's where I'd like to feel a little bit more. And again, it's just getting used to the different feeling of direct drive. It feels amazing for $500. I think the price is the key differentiator here. If you're going to go out and buy a new wheel, I think, at $500 and you're starting out in sim racing, this is probably going to be the wheel to get. This is going to be the wheel that I recommend. Now, if you own the T-GT II, should you go out and upgrade to the T598? I wouldn't call it an upgrade. I think it's a different technology. It's more of it's more of a side grade. You're getting direct axial drive. You're getting a kind of like the T-GT II is smooth, so I don't want to say one is smoother than the other. And I feel like the T-GT II offers you a little more resistance in the wheel. Obviously, it's a higher Newton meter wheel. Of course, you're also getting the quick release on the direct drive wheel, the T598, which I think is a great feature. So if you have multiple wheels, it's very quick to just swap out your wheel rims. You are getting the built-in settings within the wheel. So you know, you don't have to hook it up to a PC to change settings and all of those. So I think it's great that you can actually change everything on the fly in the wheel. Another great feature of it. The wheel feels good. If you have an older wheel or a gear-driven wheel, if you have like one of the Logitechs, the G29, the G923, if you have a Thrustmaster the T248, or even if you have a Thrustmaster T300, I definitely think this is definitely an upgrade. If you're looking to upgrade and you're not looking to spend $800, $1,000, $1,500, I think this is still going to be a great upgrade. I think it's a great option for you. And I think Thrustmaster really nailed it due to its price. I think if this was $800 or if they came out with for $1,000, I'd probably be expecting more out of it. For $500, I think you're getting a great, like they say, it's a great, it's price per performance. And I think for the price, you're getting really good performance. T-GT II owners, I think if you're happy with it, I think you're good right where you are. I don't think you're going to jump to a T598 and be like, wow, what was I missing? This thing is blowing me away. I think you're good with the T-GT II. It's a great wheel, and I don't see this. Again, it's kind of a side grade if you want something different. You're not necessarily getting something better, and that's a big, you know, that's a big shout out to Thrustmaster of how well they actually made the T-GT II. That a belt-driven wheel can feel so good competing with these direct drive wheels. So that is my opinion. I don't think you can go wrong if you're not looking to spend $1,000. I think this is a sweet spot. Thrustmaster killed it with the price of this wheel for what you're getting. It felt good. Is it a T-GT II killer? It is not. The T-GT II handles itself on its own very well, and it can compete with direct drive wheels. I'm looking forward to Thrustmaster, you know, updating the firmware even more. Obviously, this is brand new. They're still working on compatibilities with all the different games. You know, hopefully we see it as a choice in GT7. Right now, you have to pick the T-GT II to get it to work. That's what they tell you to pick. I would definitely recommend this to anyone looking to upgrade from a lower quality wheel. For someone who wants to just get into sim racing as a casual sim racer like myself, I think this is such a sweet spot to get into. At $500, you can start racing with this whole setup. It also comes with a clamp that you can hook up to your desk, so you don't even need a racing stand or anything. Is there better out there? Of course there's better. Of course there's worse. For me, if you have a T-GT II, you're in good hands. You know, I hope Thrustmaster doesn't look at me in a bad way for saying that. It is a Thrustmaster product, and it is a compliment to Thrustmaster that they built such a good belt-driven wheel. For my audience, there's so many T-GT II users because I've been recommending that wheel over and over and over again, and I know a lot of you guys who have been using it, who recommended it to me even, which is why I actually went and got it. So I know that's important to my user base. So if you have a T-GT II, I think you guys are safe. I think you guys are fine. I think if you can test it out, test it out. That is my honest review, initial review. I will keep using this. I will keep letting you know what I think of it as I'm using it more in my videos. I'll do a follow-up review, of course, over some time. And, you know, we'll just see if the more I use it, the more I'll have to tell. And I hope you appreciate the review and just know I'm just being straight up honest with you. And that is that is how I feel. I did test this wheel. You know, when I used the T-GT II, I did test it with my Evo wheel. So I also put the Evo wheel on this base because I want it to be a fair comparison. And for my actual pedal set, I did use my TLCM pedal set with load cell on both wheel bases. So it was a comparable test in that sense. So if you guys enjoyed the video, thumb it up. I love all the comments down below. Definitely leave them below. Be civil, be good. I love, we can debate all day long as long as it's civil, as long as it's good conversation. That's what I love about the audience here is we have really good conversations about this equipment. So thumb up the video, subscribe, catch you on the next one. We out of here. Peace.